So, the military is having trouble recruiting new troops. Now, why is this? The DoD has given a couple of reasons, but I have some of my own. My name's Eric. This is Above My Pay Grade. Let's get into it. Hello there. Welcome to my basement lair. I was reading over this Heritage Foundation article. I'll link it in the description below. And it turns out we are at what seems like a 23-year low in recruiting. Worst numbers since 1999. Since we're an all-volunteer force, this is becoming an issue. Now, the DoD gave a couple reasons why. One of them is the COVID. The recruiting had to stop during the COVID, which makes sense. And therefore, they weren't able to go to high schools and tell kids about all the benefits of serving in the military. On top of that, the number of eligible applicants in the United States population is shrinking. So your average, what they quoted in DoD, there's only about 27% of military-age folks between 17 and 24 that are even eligible for the military, whether that be because of medical reasons, law violation reasons, or they can't pass the PT test, whatever it is. So the pool of applicants is shrinking. Now, some thought experiments to go over with you. And I have some experience in the military, so some of this is anecdotal, my experience, but I'm interested in starting a conversation and seeing what you guys think. My experience, people join the military for one of two reasons: economic or patriotic reasons. Now, let's go over the economic reasons and why people might think twice about joining the military if they are joining for economic reasons. Well, a lot of people I know join the military for college, not because of the great pay per se, but because of the college benefits. There's a lot of companies out there, including Amazon, that are giving better starting pay than the military does and giving you college benefits. So if you're one of those people that says, hey, I need a job out of high school, what am I going to do? I have no direction in my life. By the way, that was me. You look at all the options and go, okay, I think the military is going to work me 60 hours a week, maybe 80. They own me. When am I actually going to go to school because I'm working 80 hours a week? And then you look at Amazon and they pay better and you work 40 hours a week. You might think twice about joining the military. That's pretty obvious to me. So how do you fix that problem? You have to increase pay. Now, a lot of people have been complaining in the military, and I understand why, because during PCS season, and if you're unfamiliar with that, what that is, permanent change of station, meaning military forces you to go somewhere else. And you move your whole family across the country or across the world, and all of a sudden you have to find new housing. And that housing either is going to be rented, live on base, or you have to purchase a house. Now, we all know with the housing market, how crazy it's been. So typically the military housing, by the way, if you've never lived on a military base, is not enough to house every member that is on that base. It's like, I don't know, probably 10%, maybe 15, I don't know if you know the numbers, but it's not enough to house everybody. So a lion's share of people have to live off base, meaning they have to rent on the open market. And they use something called BAH, Basic Allowance for Housing. Basic Allowance for Housing is calculated, they do it in the shadows. You can look online at how they calculate it, but it's a lot of subjectivity to it. And usually that subjectivity means that it's way lower than the market increase of rent. Let me give you an anecdotal example. Rent in my area, I live in the Denver metro area. Rent in my area, according to all available metrics, went up 17% in 2021. Our BAH went up $2. So as that compounds year over year, people are having a harder time finding a place to live. And again, you can have all your reasons and you say, suck it up, you're in the military. That's fine. But what I'm saying is people who join for economic reasons are looking at this stuff and going, maybe I don't want to join, right? Or maybe I want to get out because I can't afford to live. So regardless of your opinion, people are entitled to their own. And if we're in a volunteer service, they can volunteer their way out, okay? Or not join at all. So BAH isn't keeping up with the rental market. And so people are deciding to get out, or they're stuck and they're going to serve out their contract and they're going to leave. What else? So you also have base pay. Base pay went up in 2021, 2.7%. Now, basic pay is not calculated based off CPI. It's calculated based off the private sector's raises. So there's a lot of subjectivity to it. And which side of the subjectivity, so if there is subjectivity, which side is the government going to lean on? If there's subjectivity to the lower end or the higher end, which one do you think they're going to go with? They're going to go with the lower end because it saves them money. I mean, that's a no duh. But then you have your volunteer force able to get out too, or not join. So basic pay went up 2.7% in 2021. Now CPI was 6.7. That's CPI print. And if you go to a website called shadowstats.com, you'll see that CPI is, once again, you'll notice a common theme: subjectivity. There's a lot of subjectivity to CPI. It's not cost of goods. They don't take like a gallon of milk and on 1 year and then a gallon of milk on the next year, and then the difference is the CPI rate in milk. They do something called a cost of living index. Well, there's a ton of subjectivity, and they always lean towards the low end, extremely low. And what shadowstats.com does is takes the same CPI data the way they used to calculate inflation in the 1970s and calculates it the exact same way today, and you'll notice that CPI is actually way higher. Okay, so on top of the fact that CPI print was 6 to 7% in 2021, we only got a 2.7% increase, which means you took, technically, according to CPI data, about a 3% pay cut. Now, again, suck it up, you're in the military. Okay, that's wrong answer, all right? For families who are wanting to join, that's the wrong answer. If you want to recruit people, in my humble opinion. Whenever somebody, this has happened a couple of times throughout my career, people who are lower enlisted and have a family, people just say, well, suck it up, save money and all this kind of stuff. And it's just the wrong answer because everyone's situation is slightly different. But suffice it to say, CPI data is here and our pay increases are here. So if that 3% delta between CPI and pay continues, you took a 3% pay cut in 2022 because of inflation, and Congress is saying, hey, we want to increase pay, or what they are suggesting, 4.9%. And you've seen the CPI prints in May. It's like 8.3. So that's another 4% of delta between your pay raise and the actual inflation rate, which means between 2021 and 2022, you're taking about a 7% pay cut. Okay? So including housing, as that continues, people's pay cuts are going to like 15, 20, 25% over a 4-year time frame. And again, people who join for economic reasons are going to take that into account and look at the free market and go, hey, I can get these benefits from Amazon and not have to deal with this. So you let me know if you're out there and you're struggling to pay your rent, or your BAH is woefully under what it should be, then let me know. Because, some of this is anecdotal, like my experience talking to people in my area, but I have seen it across Facebook and all these complaints. And again, if you want to recruit a voluntary force, a lot of people just say, well, suck it up, you chose to join, all this stuff. Well, people are choosing not to join. All right, so how do you get those people in? And then patriotic reasons. So I come from a long line of military service. A lot of people join because they want to serve their country. And I'm not going to get political here, but I will tell you what I've heard around the block. The military is what the nature of it, and my experience in the military. When you go to basic training, they strip you of your individual identity. They take away your civilian clothes and they give you a uniform, give you all the same haircut. And it's kind of ingrained in your brain that you are not an individual, you're part of a team now, working towards the mission. So in recent years, people have felt like, and let me know what you think about this. I'm not going to tell you what I think, but I'll tell you what some of the people I talk to think that the military is highlighting different individuals and celebrating different things. And what that does is it breaks down unit cohesion, because people, why they join for patriotic reasons, they want to feel part of the team, number one. And number two, they actually take their oath of office, however hokey you think it sounds, they take that seriously. The oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So the further away the military gets from that target, okay, if that's the center of the target, meaning that's what the military focuses on every day, is support and defend the Constitution, and instead we're getting very political, and a lot of people feel like we're getting too political, then those people who join for patriotic reasons are either A, going to get out, or B, not going to join. So there's my 2 cents on that. So well, last thing I'll say, 2021, the withdrawal from Afghanistan, I've talked to 3 families anecdotally that their child was thinking about joining the military, and they've asked me questions about that specific instance and why we did it that way, and why we left some Americans there and all that. So they're asking questions because their son or daughter is thinking about joining the military, and they don't know if they can trust the military to look after their son or daughter. And I'm not going to give my opinion on that, but a lot of families out there are looking at that kind of stuff and going, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. So I think that the ways to fix this, if you want, X some of those things out, the politics of the military. If you want people to join, and there's a large swath of the population that wants to join for patriotic reasons, it's not economic, it's patriotic, then as the military becomes more, shall we say, woke and or political, those people choose not to join. So how are they going to fix it? It'll be interesting to see. And then the pay thing, a lot of people that I know in the military are having a hard time making ends meet. And if you are a taxpayer, I always say, I did an episode way back when on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and why this matters to the U.S. economy is because if the United States can't defend itself, and this might be a 10-year timeline where we're not able to recruit enough people, which has an effect on national security. If the citizens of the United States are worried about their own safety day in and day out, that's what they're worried about. Look at 9/11, look at World War II, look at when, the Cuban Missile Crisis, look at those times in history and look at the economic charts. People aren't worried about growing their portfolio or expanding their entrepreneurial endeavors. They're worried about their family not dying because there's some kind of existential threat out there. And so when the military can't ensure the safety of the citizens, then the economy tends to have an issue after that. And economics, for those people who are like, economics, you always talk about money. it drives a whole bunch of things, including how people eat. All right, so it's very important to the well-being of our social fabric, and if that's an issue, then we're going to see breakdown and civil unrest and all kinds of stuff. So it's very important that the military address these issues. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, whether you're a taxpayer or you were in the military at one point, how you think the military should fix some of these issues. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys in the next one.